Well, super excited today. Indy and I have travelled to northern New South Wales to meet somebody who I can only describe as an absolute legend in the koala world. So excited about today. Cannot wait to meet her, spend time with her, and look at all the amazing things she's doing towards saving our koalas. So really excited to be here today with this amazing person who's videoing me.
I'm videoing Dave, videoing me.
And so I'm joined over here with Indy, and very kindly Katrina's offered to show us around her incredible place called Koala Gardens, and we're so excited, aren't we, Indy?
Yeah. I'm trying to spot a koala right now.
And I've given them a clue that there is a koala just here in the area we're in, and nobody has spotted it yet.
Oh my goodness.
But it won't take long.
We're under the pump already, guys.
The worst, if you were to do a 360 turnaround, you should have found her by the time you get back to where you start.
Wow.
This has got everybody really.
Oh!
Koala on the tree is honeydew, right?
That's right, that's honeydew.
How did you find honeydew?
She does have a bit of a story. She's not, I don't think she's quite 2 years old yet, and she was found in the middle of the night, in the middle of a road, on a bend in the road one night.
Oh
Yep, and we couldn't find her mum, and so she was raised in at the hospital. And on New Year's Day of this year, I remember that because it was New Year's Day, and my New Year's present was honeydew came out, and the kindy is just behind us there. And she spent a few weeks in there, and then it was decided that she could be released here. So
amazing.
I opened the gate, out she came, and she'd been vaccinated. Do you know what we vaccinate koalas for?
Conjunctivitis?
Yeah, so for a disease called chlamydia, and that gets in their eyes and causes conjunctivitis, and it gets in their bladder and causes them to have a wet bottom. So it's a terrible disease. But you can see that there she is up in the tree. So she went back in.
She's made a comeback.
She was treated for the chlamydia successfully. So she was very lucky because not many females survive chlamydia.
So, tell me about the koala community. How many koalas are being rehabilitated right now?
I don't have any in there just at the moment. One of the main uses that we have it for is to dehumanise orphans and make sure that they're ready to be on their own.
Yeah.
So orphans have got to be raised by one person first, and then they go into a little kindy at the hospital where they're with other little joeys, and they kind of, what would you say, they get used to being without their mum, and then they weaned off the milk supplements, and to make sure they're ready to be out, they come here. And for some of them, it's the first time they've ever been in a tree.
Wow.
We also do a little bit of physiotherapy in there. So sometimes if a koala has lost an eye or they've had a head injury or something, then if they've spent, 5 months in hospital, they're not ready to just throw out into a tree. No. So they come here, and I can put my sensor cameras out and make sure that head injuries can walk a straight line, that if they've haven't got one eye, they're not bumping into things, and we can just make sure again that they're coping, because once we release them, we might never see them again.
They can go anywhere.
If you look at my channel and you go bullet acrobat, right, he was the most ridiculous koala. So you see this dead bit, and then you see this bit. Yeah. He would get across.
No trouble.
From one to the other. And I've got videos of him in one, and he's reaching and he gets it, and then he's like, and the
thing is, looking at those, it's not as if he's got a lot to push against to do it, isn't it? Like, it's not a solid branch.
It looks like it would break at any moment. So we're standing at the moment in the plantation, which is an area where we cut the trees. We cut branches to take in and feed the koalas in the hospital. But on the conservation area, I pay a team of regen experts to do all of the weed work and
This is Valentine, and he's an absolute favourite of mine. He's such a gorgeous looking, handsome male.
Had a good place last year and not this year.
So who's this again?
Jasper.
Jasper, and it's onyx.
Onyx's son from last year, yeah. And
Wow.
I know everyone's determined to keep the precious stone.
So what other animals do you find here?
Oh, lots and lots of animals are on the property, and that's, I think, why koalas are so important, because they're an umbrella species, and the area they live in, lots of other animals do. So I get things like goannas, water dragons, birds. I don't know how many species of wallabies. So I get the swamp wallaby and the redneck wallaby.
Beautiful. Oh, wow.
Lots
That's so
of
special.
echidnas.
Oh, that's so good.
Loads and loads of echidnas.
So I can see like nesting boxes up there. What animal is that nesting box for?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've got two different types of nesting boxes, and you might notice that these two are slightly different to each other. So I did have a funded project some years ago. In part of that project I put the boxes up, and there's up to 14 different vulnerable species on this property.
Yep.
And these two different nesting boxes are for two of those types of vulnerable species. So the smaller one is a nesting box that's designed to attract the little lorikeet, which is a little tiny green, bright green lorikeet that's vulnerable. And the other ones are for the squirrel gliders, which are another vulnerable species. And I have, I've not found the little lorikeet, but I have seen squirrel gliders in the boxes, which is very exciting.
I think you mentioned to me one other time around working with the sort of neighbouring landowners to, try and encourage them. Yeah. What does that look like?
So the next property is more than 10 times the size of this.
Yeah.
And they have now planted thousands and thousands of trees and are clearing a lot of weed. And then the next property down are also doing regen work. So
that's amazing.
That gets exciting because of the connectivity to what I'm doing. And this part of the property, we actually planted the trees here in 2011. So these trees here are 14 years old.
Wow.
So that's a significant change that's happened, but there's more than double the number of trees on the property were self-sown. Yeah. And the changes that has made by watching them come up as little tiny saplings, and now at the age they're at, I'm watching different ones are becoming a little bit more dominant, and you can see that they're going to take over the other ones here. And it's caused a really big change in the bird life. Yeah. Because now there's so much habitat here that supports a lot of the smaller types of birds. So there's still enough grasses for them, but there's also a lot of shelter for them.
Yep.
What's an average day look like on this property?
Well, firstly, what I would say is it looks like me on the quad bike, walking around.
We're really lucky.
Because it's a pretty hilly property, isn't it?
Yeah.
And at the moment it's pretty slippery, slidey, muddy. So an average day sees me come out on the property, and I go up and down, so we can see a bit of a track here. I go up and down every single track looking for the koalas. Yep. Finding the koalas, photographing the koalas, identifying them. Yep. And what I do is I tend to process all of that in batches. So every Wednesday, my whole day is spent processing koala photos and video. Yep. And then I'm creating all of my YouTube stuff. Whenever I can, I like to spend a few hours in the afternoon outside on the property or in the garden doing things. when my workload permits and when the weather.
And I noticed on some of your written stuff, Katrina, that you describe this place as the most magical place to live in the world. You know,
It is magical, I think.
Yeah, I mean, just being here, the trees are beautiful, the wildlife, the birds, but to run into those koalas and just see them, I mean, to have that is pretty fantastic.
I think you've got to consider that most Australians have never seen a koala in the wild.
No.
So for me to be able to live this is, you know, it is hard to describe what it's actually like to be able to live something like this.
So this is Enya, and Enya's got a joey, and not that we can see it through this view, but has a pap on her rump. Which is what she uses to feed.
So how can people help Koala Gardens?
Well, thanks for asking, Indy. There's lots of ways to help. You know, the first way is to always be subscribed to my channel, hit the like button, leave comments, tell people about what I'm doing. But if you would like to become part of the family and get involved and really be a part of it and have some great perks of exclusive content, be in on naming the koalas, things like that, I have a Patreon. And people can also do lots of different types of adoptions of koalas. And that all helps me to be able to both do what I'm doing on the property and create all the content that I create to help people learn about koalas and experience them if they can't get out to the bush.
Yeah. Tours, what people might expect on there?
Do you know what? They get something like what you got today. Not as long. We've been out walking around the property for about 2.5 hours now, which has been just fantastic.
Yeah.
So usually...
It really has. Go on a tour, guys.
How many koalas have we seen today, Indy?
We've seen 5.
And one of them has an extra.
Yeah.
So we've seen 5.
Do you remember who we've seen?
We've seen, I'm going to try and do it in order. Honeydew.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Zeus.
No.
No. Jasper.
Yes.
Zeus, Anya. And
Yes.
Anya's Joey. That we didn't see. But
I reckon I can see a foot hanging out the pouch, but yes, my super zoom camera. Yes, indeed.
Wow, we just cannot thank you enough, Katrina.
Thank you so much. This has been so fun.
Oh, I've had the best time.
It's been amazing. So an experience of a lifetime, and it's certainly something we both treasure. Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, Katrina.
And thank you, koalas, for deciding to be here today.
Yeah.
I know. I'm so pleased that they've cooperated for us.